Hey guys, welcome back to 5nothing100nothing.com. I am Fugget, and that stands for the fittest underdog guru using intelligent tactics. Today, guys, I want to talk to you about building forearms, okay? Now, there's a few components that I've found over the years after 20 years of personal training and being in either gyms or in cold, dusty garages or attics or basements or what have you, and working out for years. What I've seen personally, professionally, and what I've seen work from bodybuilding shows, where I've judged bodybuilding shows, as well as being in the world of professional wrestling and being around some monsters, all right, from all worlds, from bodybuilding to powerlifting to you name it, they did it. Okay, so what I've noticed, it's almost like forearms are like the calves, right? Sometimes, guys will have big calves because they pick the right parents. So sometimes you'll see these guys with these jacked calves, and other guys are watching them, and they'll ask what they do for calves. And, I do, 3 sets of straight-legged, calf raises. Then I'll do, 3-4 sets of seated calf raises, and blah, 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 blah. And they'll give you their little calf routine, right? Bodybuilding magazines for years sold magazines based on articles and, catchy lines. Now you got the clickbait versions, 5 things you're not doing that are going to, grow your calves or your forearms or blah, blah, blah. And the thing is that, yeah, there is a genetic component. So sometimes if you pick the right parents, you can have some pretty jacked forearms. Now, there's all types of little devices out there. These used to be a little bit more prevalent, I think, when I was growing up, like in the 80s and 90s, is you would see these forearm crusher type of apparatuses that, were $50, $60 and promised you jacked forearms. And you would, use these things to try to build the forearms up bigger. There was a home remedy where I remember my dad made me my first one, and it was funny because he had big forearms as well. And so from the picture, from the thumbnail, you could see my forearms are pretty jacked, and especially in comparison to my physique, I feel like I'm pretty proportioned, always looking to be better, but I've always been complimented on my forearms and my forearm strength, etc. So what my dad made was he took a baseball bat and he cut the handle off of it. And then you can also do this with a broomstick or a dowel rod, and then take a long string, nail it in, make sure it's really secured, and then at the bottom, what you would do is you would measure the length of the rope or the heavy string by taking your arms with that dowel rod straight out at shoulder length, and you would see how long the rope would need to be from the top of your fist to the ground. And then you leave a little extra rope there so that you can tie a weight on and wrap that additional rope around the ends of it and give it a really good knot. And then you would take that, and then you would either roll in an upwards position, which hit your forearm extensors, or then you would turn your hands the other way and roll it up, which would hit your forearm flexors. So I did that to nauseam, but at the same time, I was also playing a lot of baseball, and I was bowling a lot. On top of that, lifting weights. On top of that, working jobs where I had to carry heavy things. So add all that up, and also being born and having a father that had large forearms, it all starts to make sense. Maybe it's that I did a little bit of work, and I also picked the right parents. So from being in the gym and using all types of methods from putting your hands over the edge of a bench and taking dumbbells or a barbell and rolling it up and down and doing it the other way, you'll definitely get a wicked pump on that. I think that there is some benefit to that if you really want to grow your forearms, but what I've found that is tried and true all the time is whenever somebody starts doing heavy carries. So what I mean by that is grabbing a very heavy set of kettlebells or a heavy trap bar loaded with weight, or dumbbells, what have you, holding your shoulders back, keeping your chin neutral and traps just locked, and walking with this heavy weights. Trainers all the time, if they're getting weights for their clients, that's another thing that kept my forearms big was, I'd have these bruisers that are lifting, 60, 70 pound dumbbells, and the only bench that they could go on an incline with or use whatever bench was close was, 30, 40 feet, maybe 50 feet away from where those dumbbells were. And so I always try to go the extra mile with clients, so I'm like, I'll get the dumbbells, don't worry about it. Well, some of them caught on to what I was doing. They're like, you little bastard, you're just sneaking in some farmer's walks. I just kind of shrug and laugh and whatever. So yeah, they caught me. I mean, I do want to provide a good service, but that was really why I was doing it. It was a little selfish. So those heavy carries, you guys, are going to do wonders. Also, when you're doing a dumbbell curl, if you do dumbbell curls, if you grab that dumbbell, and I picked this tip up from trainer Nick Tuminello, great stuff online if you look him up. But you take the dumbbell, and when you're holding it in your hand, you know how you usually will try to grab somewhere in the middle of the dumbbell to keep it balanced? Well, instead of that, grab it all the way so that your thumb and your first finger, your pointer finger, are against the bell here, so it's going to produce counterweight on the inside. And what that's going to do is, as you're doing your curl, it's really going to cause that forearm flexor to catch fire, and you're going to see some growth there. You're also going to see some additional growth in the biceps heads, just because it's an offset amount of tension or resistance. So there's a lot of ways to do it, you guys. Don't get too caught up in gimmicks. Take all the information you read or find online or even view in videos with a grain of salt. You got to try it yourself. If you got some good tips, leave them here in the comments below. Send me an email, 5nothing100nothing.com. Do it here in the video, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, Instagram, the podcast, all the above. So Fugget is out. Go train those forms, you guys. Pick up some heavy shit and walk around. Last tip, real quick one. Dan John, another awesome strength coach of like 40 years now. So sometimes I don't feel so old when I think about these old, lumps of coal, as Norm Macdonald would say. He would give tips to grab the heaviest weight you can take, walk it out as far as you can, and then turn around and walk back. And that's hilarious, because I had a few clients try that, and they walked out maybe 100 yards or whatnot, or maybe they walked out for like 3 minutes holding these heavy dumbbells, and then it took them almost 15, 20 minutes to get them back because their hands kept cramping. So that's always kind of a funny thing to do. So anyways, you guys, running long, I'm just blabbing now. Have a great day. I'll see you soon, and remember to fug it. Take care.